Good evening. You're watching Look Up TV. My name is Otieno. It's time for the news.
The news headlines in association with
Tonight on Lookupnews, more petitions filed at the Supreme Court to challenge the validity of President-elect William Ruto's victory.
As the government subsidy program ends, maize flour price still remains a pain to consumers.
And one child dead and 8 others admitted in Nakuru over swine flu outbreak.
Yippee! Kamata plotting at 349k. Oh yes, for only 349,000 Kenyan shillings, you become a plot owner at the Great Oasis Gardens, Nanyuki. The Great Oasis Gardens, Nanyuki is located along the Nanyuki-Rumuruti Road, only 11 minutes from the City Mall and right opposite Mount Kenya Wildlife Estate. This is the best place to establish the getaway home that you have always dreamt about. For every 349,000 that you deposit or pay as installment towards any of Optiven's plot of land, you get 10k cash back instantly. Jaza basi twende Nanyuki. Bigger is indeed better.
In Nuka, Kenya, Nisisi, Chief Executive John Mark Githongo has filed a petition against the declaration of William Ruto as president-elect at the Supreme Court. In his petition, Githongo states that he has enough evidence to prove the malpractice in the August 9th election.
In his petition, Githongo stated that the August 9th general election was marred with malpractice, arguing that Form 34A's results were highly manipulated. Githongo based his argument on a man he says to have been part of the group conducting election malpractice, who exposed the deal to him. Part of Githongo evidence stated that the person told him that the IEBC chairperson Wafula Chebukati cooperated with William Ruto, allowing Ruto's team to access the Kim's kit, where the results were being transmitted before they were posted on the IEBC portal. Githongo's petition reveals that Ruto's group of 56 people, 10 among them being a group of supervisors, edited the result in the Kim's kit before posting them on the IEBC portal. Among the key people said to have been involved in the deal, including Dennis Itumbi, who is the digital strategist at Ruto's campaigns, David Chirchir, who is the head of staff in Ruto's office, Morris Mutegi, Jackson Kandi, and Baby Serge. Githongo says that he has a video evidence of the witness which he says is ready to submit in court. The respondent in this case is the IEBC Commission, the Commission's chairperson Wafula Chebukati, Vice Chairperson Juliana Cherera, IEBC Commissioner Boya Malu, Abdi Gulie, Justus Nyangaya, Francis Wanderi, Irene Masit, and the President-elect William Ruto. The interested party in the petition is Raila Odinga and Martha Karua. Shadrach Kareria, Look Up TV.
More traffic at the Supreme Court. 3 Kenyans, Ashford Kome Mbogo, Michael Ochieng Asola, and Eric Githinji have filed a petition at the High Court to stop the Supreme Court from declaring Raila Odinga as president after vote recount. The 3 argue Section 80, subsection 4A of the Elections Act number 24 of 2011 that gives the court that mandate is null and void.
Just hours after the Azimio team filed their case to challenge the declaration of William Ruto as president-elect, it is now clear they will have to navigate another hurdle in the prayers sought at the Supreme Court. 3 Kenyans Ashford Kome Mbogo, Michael Ochieng, and Eric Githinji have also filed a case to stop the Supreme Court from declaring Raila Odinga as president after a recount. In a certificate of urgency, the 3, through their legal team Solomon Mugo and company advocates, want several prayers granted by the High Court. Among the prayers before the court, the 3 want a declaration that Section 80, subsection 4A of the Elections Act number 24 of 2011 is unconstitutional, null and void to the extent that the said section purports to confer powers and or jurisdiction on an election court to issue an order to IEBC Commission to issue a certificate of election to Raila Odinga upon recount of the ballots cast. They also want the court to declare that only the chairperson of IEBC can declare William Ruto as having been validly elected president under Article 138(10) of the Constitution pursuant to a presidential election. Additionally, they want the court to affirm that the certificate of election issued by the IEBC to William Ruto is legally valid unless or until the same is annulled by the Supreme Court of Kenya. Ashford Komembogo, Michael Otieno Asola and Eric Vinji have listed the Honorable Attorney General as the respondent and IEBC and the President-elect William Ruto as the interested parties. The ball now is firmly in the corridors of justice as we await a clear direction on the matter. Henry Tende, Lookup TV.
The main trigger, of course, is Azimio Coalition filing its petition at the Supreme Court yesterday, laying ground for a court battle between President-elect William Ruto, the IEBC, and the Azimio Coalition itself, led by Raila Odinga and Martha Karua. In the petition, the duo seeks to have the election nullified and Chebukati barred from participating in the repeat election should they win. Lookup TV now looks at a constitutional challenge that would present if at all the Supreme Court grants the duo what they seek.
Duo that presents itself as the champions of democracy walked to the corridors of justice on Monday to file a petition challenging the presidential election, arguing that they have enough evidence to have the declaration of William Ruto as president-elect declared null and void by the courts. Among the 23 reliefs the Azimio teams are seeking to have is Wafula Chebukati out of office should the country go back to a repeat election. However, if this will be the move by the Supreme Court, then this will present another constitutional challenge, according to Advocate Peter Njagi.
When you raise criminal culpability, it moves now from the question about you conducting that manner in compliance of the law, but what they are calling in the application in furtherance of a criminal enterprise, meaning that it was part and parcel of an illegality and the further kind of an exercise. Remember that the chairperson of the IBC and the commissioners at large sit in that commission in conformity with Article 88 of the Constitution, which gives the mandate for them to sit in that commission. So the first thing that we should establish that they had the capacity to make that determination.
Nullification of the election is one thing, but having Chebukati out of office before another election is a different thing. That will need to go back to the courts and prove that the referee is incapacitated to hold another election.
These state officers have what we call security of tenure, which is meant to act as a shield but not as a sword, to protect them from intimidation or from frustration in exercise of their duty, so that upon such kind of an event, then somebody also needs to move to court again to bring another counter suit in the superior court for purposes of showing the culpability that the referee is not fit to conduct such of an exercise. But the bearing of such kind of an action is actually hinged on the outcome from the Supreme Court finding.
Should the courts declare Wafula Chebukati incapacitated, the Commission could still proceed with an election if at all it will be well constituted and has enough quorum, which Njagi argues it does not have to be 7 commissioners based on previous cases of by-elections.
A nullification does not necessarily mean that the same institution or the same person manning that institution, because remember IBC is a body corporate, just like a company, and it is run by commissioners. So it does not necessarily mean that they are not fit to conduct an election because the Supreme Court application has been found to have merits. No. The only challenge or quagmire we would find ourselves to is that the application is found to have merit, and then the court has moved further and actually imputed criminal culpability on the enterprise that they are alleging in the Supreme Court, that these people were actually in furtherance of such kind of an exercise, now which will bring the question about their capability to conduct such a by-election if such a by-election is ordered by the court.
The burden of proof now lies with the Azimio team.
The amicus curiae of somebody who is well seasoned with multi-political computation or forensic analysis would come, and if nobody attained that requirement of 50% plus 1, then it follows, just like day follows the night, is the outcome of that election was not in compliance with the constitution, and the person so declared cannot be president-elect because of failure to attain the threshold.
The petition, which was filed on Monday, 22nd of August, will be determined on 5th of September 2022, taking a period of 14 days as stipulated in the Constitution. Brian Amuai, Lookup TV, Nairobi.
As many interested parties continue to file petitions challenging presidential election results, all eyes are on the Supreme Court as Kenyans await their ruling to know the way forward.
On Monday filed his petition at the Milimani Law Courts challenging the IEBC presidential results. Join me, Bellamy Boston, in today's segment of the Opinion Matters as we ask Kenyans, do they think justice will be served at the Supreme Court?
Mimi upande yangu naweza sema tunaona ni kama kuna justice itapatikana, sababu kitu yenye tunaomba wale majaji wenye wamechaguliwa kusikiza hiyo kesi, kitu yenye tunaweza waomba is a request. Wasiangalie pesa yenye mtu wako nayo anakuja nayo, wasiangalie nini, au waangalie kama watasema William Ruto Samuel zile kura zenye alipewa ni za haki, tutakubali kazi zifunguke, sababu vijana kama sisi sahi hatuna kazi.
Kwa majina ni Fikra Nyambane kutoka Nguaro, tuko Kawangware. Nile kitu yenye ningetarajia koti yetu itufanyie haki na ukweli. Wasijai tegemea pande nyingine moja juu yenyewe wako na haki yao ya pesa. Sisi ile kitu yenye tunataka demokrasia yenyewe, sisi wenyewe kama Kenya tunafaa tufuatilie mambo ya demokrasia. Tusifuate mambo ya watu wako na pesa, wengine hawana pesa, lakini tunataka haki na ukweli tendeke. Hasa kama hii tunataka hii tarehe 5. Hii tarehe 5 tunataka kula zetu sihesabiwa, hatutaki kwenda kurudia uchaguzi. Sawa. Mambo ya kurudia uchaguzi hatutaki. Sisi tunataka kura zetu sihesabiwe venye tulipiga kura zetu, ndio tujue hiyo ndio haki yetu.
Kwa maoni yangu vile hii kesi ya papa imepelekwa Supreme Court, naona ukweli na haki itaonekana. Na papa mara mingi tunampigia kura, wanamuibia. Kitu kinafanya papa anaibiwa kura, yeye anapenda vitu siko straight. Hao wengine wanapenda mambo ya kona, ndio hao wanaenda wanarusa hongo, wanapeana pesa kwa hawa merchants, wanapitishwa. Papa ngali yeye analala nafikiri vitu siko straight, akiamuka asubuhi vile alikuwa ameona TV anapata vitu simebadilika.
And those were some of the opinions of Kenyans in Your Opinion Matters, which comes to you every day on Lookup TV.
Mourning has engulfed Chitoto Girls High School in Kakamega after the sudden death of school principal Lily Mbati. Mbati is said to have collapsed on her way to school, was rushed to hospital where she was pronounced dead on arrival. Otieno Ndalana with the details.
In a sad day for the community of Chitoto Girls High School in Kakamega County after their principal Lily Mbati collapsed on her way to school a few minutes before she was pronounced dead on arrival at the hospital. The family is yet to come to terms with the tragedy, saying that she was in good health early morning.
A neighbor called me, told me mom is not well, I should rush home, nikuje nione venye tunaweza kumsaidia. So nilikuwa nimeita mtu wangu wa pikipiki kunipeleka kazini. So I diverted tukaanza safari ya kuja Mumias. Ndo akaniambia pole, mama yuko na sisi, ametuacha. So from hapo tu ikakuwa hazy till I go to nini. He was insisting I come home, but I just had to go kumwona. So ndo nikafika St. Mary's Mission Hospital.
Teachers in the school remember her as a dedicated teacher who went out of her way to ensure betterment of the school.
Being very committed to her work, indeed, particularly also in relation with the deputy, who is now the acting principal. We have worked very closely. Many times we have engaged on matters of the school in terms of spiritual guidance and even just general advice.
Otieno Ndalana, Lookup TV.
You're watching the news on Lookup TV. We'll be back after this short break. back. The scarcity and high price of maize flour has been a concern for Kenyans in the recent months. President Uhuru Kenyatta's directive to retailers to sell the commodity at 100 shillings did not seem to be a lasting solution. Charlene Mwende with the details.
It was a sigh of relief for Kenyans after President Kenyatta directed retailers to sell maize flour at 100 Kenyan shillings on the 22nd of July 2022. However, Kenyans have since complained of the lack of the commodity and costly pricing of over 200 Kenyan shillings.
Unga ilikuwa disaster. Kupata ilikuwa tu shida, hata kama ilikuwa 100 unapata kwa duka zingine, unapata yani stocks zimerun out, wanaenda kwa malls wanapata huko juu ya hiyo price, juu wote wanafeva kupata 100. Hizo 200 ni kidogo, yani ni watu wengi hawezi pata hiyo nini ya tuso hiyo unga.
In addition, economists predicted even more scarcity of maize flour during the post-election period, terming the unga subsidy move as a political strategy to lure Kenyans. A spot check in Kangwai, Nairobi shows that indeed unga is now a scarce and expensive commodity, with only Pembe retailing at 100 bob, while the rest going for above 200 Kenyan shillings.
Sai zimeanza kurudi. Sai zinachezea hapo 200 hapo, ikienda minimum ni 199 shillings hapo hivyo. Za 100 flat bado haziko.
Kenyans continue to call on the government to lower unga prices so as to sustain the already high cost of living.
Ndio kuna nini hizo mahindi ya ku manufacture mahindi, but the nini government manze ndo wacheki hii situation yenye tuko manze. Ndio maana naika unga 100 but kuna scarcity of products. Hii issue ya unga wenyewe wasikize tu, watu wengi ni watu wanapenda ugali, waweze tu kushikisha tu bei, alafu vitu zitakuwa sawa, juu hadi watu wengi wamehama kwa mchele manze. Najua njaa si kitu poa kwa binadamu. Mimi nataka tu waeke tu vitu sikuwe fair, hata kama issue election iko juu, waeke tu vitu at a fair price, yani yenye kila mtu iko essential to all of people.
They say a promise is a debt, but according to residents and business persons here in Kawangware, Nairobi, the government has downplayed the retailing of maize flour at 200 Kenyan shillings, especially during this post-election period. Charlene Mwende, Look Up TV, Nairobi.
In the proverbial story of never giving up, Paul Maru, a border operator in Hola Town, Tana River County, trounced seasoned politicians to win the Mikinduni Ward MCA seat on an ODM ticket. This is how he got there.
32-year-old border rider Paul Maru is a happy man after finally succeeding in his quest to be the member of County Assembly for Mikinduni Ward in Tana River County. Maru's political journey started in 2017, where he failed to secure the MCA seat. For the 2022 race, the young politician received immense support from his fellow border operators, despite financial challenges to run his campaigns. Maru, now an MCA-elect, has expressed his gratitude to Governor Godana Doyo, who helped him secure the ODM ticket.
Pale kwa chama kusema ukweli, wacha tu nifungike nisema ukweli, nilikuwa nimevunjika moyo kwa sababu mimi nilikuwa nataka nitembee na chama kubwa, sababu huku kwetu pia hizi chama ziko na wave. Ukiingia chama kubwa sababu ya ile wave itaweza kusaidia. Sasa wakati wa chama niliambiwa ni almost 100,000. Nilishindwa nitaitoa wapi. Kuna vijana ambao wamenisaidia hapa kunichangia hapa na pale, lakini ile zone zile ambao wageni wakija wanawapikia chai nini, kusema kweli ilibidi nienda nikamlilia gavana. Huyu gavana yuko kwa mamlaka, wacha tu nimpatie pongezi, alinisaidia kwa registration because mimi nilikuwa totally nil. Yeye ndo alinisaidia kunificha aibu.
The MCA-elect couldn't be more grateful to his border compatriots who came to his rescue and at times going out of their way, hoping that once Maru gets to the county assembly, he will prioritize the plight of his fellow riders. Maru pursued diploma in legal services in Kenya's capital, Nairobi, but his ambitions were cut short after the death of his parent, which forced him to venture into the border sector to earn a living, where he was later voted in as the chairperson.
Nilikuwa Nairobi 2006 mpaka 8 nikifanya masomo ya diploma in legal studies, lakini kwa bahati mbaya mzazi wangu aliaga, na wakati huo bado hizi support za serikali hazikuwa. Sasa nikarudi Tana River Hola. Kufika hapa kusema kweli Tana River tunapitia changamoto, hakuna viwanda, hakuna factories, watu wana hustle tu sana. Sasa nikaona tu hakuna life hapa, nijirushe tu kwa bodaboda. Hapo ndo nikajikuta nimeanza bodaboda, hata sikuwa ninajua kuendesha. Nilikuja nikafundishwa tu na huyu mwenye ameongea kwanza Michael ndo alinifunza, hapo nikaanza. Lakini baada ya kama mwezi mmoja miezi miwili ile interaction iliwasukuma, sijui nini waliona kwangu, wakanichagua kama chairman.
According to his compatriots, Maro has been on the forefront in championing for their needs, something that made them to voluntarily campaign for him.
Tungetu kufuatana maaskari kwa sababu ya insurance, license, si wote tuko na ma license. So alikuwa akijaribu kuongea na maaskari kutusaidia kidogo, atupapewa muda. So kusema kweli kijana ametusaidia kwa muda mrefu sana. 2017 tulikuwa na yeye lakini ameanguka. Mara hii tukashikana tukasema huyu jamaa lazima tuhakikishe kivyo vyote vile afike mahali amefika.
Maya Mohammed, Maro's wife, was optimistic that her husband would turn around the situation of the community and that of his family.
Wananchi wenye alimpigia kura, mimi nitawaambia tutawazidi kuwashughulikia pale mahali tunaweza, tutawasaidia pale mahali hatuwezi, pia tutawaambia, tutakuwa huru kwa.
In Kitani, Look Up TV.
One child has been reported dead and 8 others hospitalized in Nakuru County over a swine flu outbreak. Confirming the cases, Public Health Services Daniel Wanaina stated that younger children are at high risk of infection, though experts say the cause of the flu is yet to be established. Parents have been advised to enhance hygiene and ventilation in houses.
Mnamo tarehe 27 mwezi wa 7 mwaka huu, mwezi mmoja uliopita, tulipata taarifa kwamba kulikuwa na ongezeko la idadi ya watoto wachanga ambao walikuwa wakikuja hospitali wakiwa na homa kali. Homa ambayo ilikuwa inawafanya wawe na ugumu kupumua, kukohoa na kuumwa na kifua na kuwa na joto jingi mwilini. Tuliweza kuchukua samples za kupeleka katika maabara, na baada ya siku chache tukapata matokeo ambayo yalionyesha baadhi ya watoto walikuwa na virusi vya H1N1 ambayo inajulikana kama homa ya nguruwe ama swine flu kwa kizungu. Ya watu 142 kufikia leo ambao wengi wao wamekuwa ni watoto wachanga chini ya miaka 5 na wengi zaidi chini ya mwaka mmoja. Na kwa wakati huu tuko na watoto 6 katika hospitali ya Kitangwanyi na 2 katika hospitali yetu kuu ya Rufaa ambao wanaendelea kupokea matibabu na wanaendelea vizuri. Tumezidi kuhimiza wananchi waweze kuwa waangalifu, hasa watoto ambao ni wachanga wakipata homa waweze kuwaleta kwa hospitali ili waweze kuhudumiwa kwa muda ambao unafaa.
The Kenyan shilling is on a downward spiral. The shilling is currently trading at 119.70 to the dollar. Experts spoke to Edwin John Mukora.
The downfall that started at the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic in Kenya has seen the currency of East Africa's largest economy fall by 6.46% against the US dollar since January of 2022. Financial experts argue that the current depreciation will continue as a result of the global inflationary pressure, among other issues.
During COVID-19, so many businesses were not able to import what they're supposed to use either in manufacturing or in their trading. So when the economy was opened up, that pent-up demand for importation pushed demand for USD. And with demand for USD, of course, there is the price of USD will have to go higher, therefore Kenyan shilling will go down.
Experts further note that the just concluded election, coupled with the impending petition, sent investors packing as they adopt a wait-and-see approach.
Our election cycle in Kenya is normally not very certain, so you'll find most FDIs leaving the country to go into other jurisdictions. And of course, it has come to pass that our election is not as smooth as it should be, though this time around we managed albeit smoothly. We are waiting to see. But election is one of the issues that has pushed the Kenyan shilling to slide down in terms of value vis-a-vis the dollar.
On geopolitics, the Russia-Ukraine crisis has affected the shilling indirectly, with a surge importation of the basic commodities like wheat becoming a challenge.
There's been a meltdown in the global economy. In fact, most markets across the world, even the strong markets, we've seen quite some, not even we've seen quite inflationary pressures across the world. Look at United Kingdom, look at the US. Inflation rates have hit rates that were previously seen, I think, during the World War. And with high inflations, of course, currencies tend to slide. And because our currency is pegged to the USD, it had to slide down.
Kenya's debt woes also contributed to the weakening of the Kenyan shilling repayment, as the country has to dig deeper into its forex reserve to settle its dollar-driven debt. With the current standing averaging at 119 shillings this week, with Monday seeing it momentarily touch 120 shillings against the greenback, analysts fear that the worst is yet to come.
And of course, the last point I want to mention is that our exports have not been very strong over the last 1 or 2 years. Remember, our major exports are tea, coffee, of course, foreign remittances. The 3 items have gone down over the last 2 years after COVID. So that has put a lot of pressure on the Kenya shilling.
Edwin John Mukora, Look Up Business.
And that's the news. Thank you for watching Look Up TV. Have a good night.